Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to the Nascar series. So let me get ourselves ready to go. You can see we've got a little bit of weather, so hopefully we can get out of here before things get too hairy. But we'll see. Oh, it thought I was moving a lot more than I was. Fun Microsoft Flight Simulator stuff, but we got that.
We're just getting ready for departure, but if you need anything, just give me a call.
Thank you.
No problem.
Alright, so gonna see if we can get this going. Gonna get our plane set here. Alright, and hopefully the ground crew will be contacting us soon.
Hello, Captain. Okay, so I've spoken to security and they've started checking in, but there's around another 10 minutes to go before we expect to be seeing any passengers.
Okay. Feel free to start boarding whenever they're ready to come on board. Let us know once you've started.
No problem.
Alright, so I'm going to try to use self-loading cargo again. We're going to try to get Say Intentions working. That has been much more pleasantly appropriate and working than things have been in the past. So found a little bit of a, I don't know that I'd call it a cheat, but it's a way to get the flight plan in. You can do it via the EFB. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. And again, you heard we got about 10 minutes till we have passengers coming on board. So, let's see. Let me go to the settings. We're going to change this to horizontal, make it medium. Hopefully that will make things... we probably need to go to large. Because, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a challenge to see things. But we're going to import the flight. We can import from SimBrief. And here we're going from Kilo Alpha Foxtrot Whiskey to Kilo Mike Kilo Charlie. The only thing is we kind of need to fix things up. Again, it won't like grab what I've already done in Navigraph, which is unfortunate. But we add ANX to the route. And then what I'm basically probably going to do is go from Tiger and just fly to ANX, Alpha November X-Ray, and go from there. But you can see we should be leaving 34 left. 19 is where we want to land. So that is what we have filed. And now that we have this, what we do is we go to export and we load as active flight plan. And as you can see, it affects in-game ATC and avionics. And now, you know, we've got something up on our list there, and we're good to go. But we are taking a flight here, leaving Texas Motor Speedway. Joey Logano had a good result and walked away the winner of the Worth 400 at Texas Motor Speedway. And here on the 10th, day before Mother's Day, we're taking our VIPs to Kansas City for the Kansas Speedway with the Advent Health 400. So that is the flight you are joining here. So we're just going to go make sure everything's good. So I am going to remove this waypoint. And we're just going to go there, and then you can see that lights up, so that's good. That will take us there. We'll just make sure we don't have anything strange. And then, like I said, after Tiger, I'm going to remove Trike, I'm going to remove Moray. And I'm going to remove Slab. And I'm going to remove Manual Sequence. And then we'll go from Tiger to Alpha November X-Ray. And that should give us the flight path we want to follow. So I need to get clearance here at 128725. So we're going to pop that in. Fort Worth clearance, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Kansas City.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Alright, so we can get rid of that. That will help. We're waiting to turn on the APU until we have the ground crew. So
Walker 4021 cleared to Kansas City via the Nander 3 departure, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 330 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1 squawk 6455. Expect runway 34 left.
Forward. Clear to Miami via the Cuso 1 departure, then is filed. Climb maintain 4000. Expect flight level 35010 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1 squawking 1542 ABX 3151 heavy.
cleared to Kansas City via the Nander 3 departure, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 350 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1 squawk 6455. Expect runway 34 left. Walker 4021.
Center, Vans 399er Tango Whiskey would like to cancel IFR flight plan.
Okay.
Walker 4021, read back correct.
6455, ident. Should be good there. So, we've got our squawk going. We've got everything else set. I believe it'll drive everything else. What we can do, though, is get ourselves, let's say here at 33.0. So that should be plenty of time, and then that should smooth things over there. Let's see. 8 minutes for boarding. She said 10 minutes quite a while ago. So, taking a little bit here. Because, yeah, we're kind of at the twiddle our thumbs stage right now. Okay, we are at inches. Yeah, let's set our barometer. It's 29er. We do want to get standby on here. So that'll get us our standby. In case we lose our main PDF at some point, that would obviously be not good. You know, we're obviously, yes, discharging our battery. It would be nice to get the ground crew soon, but we should be leaving at about 1607. You can see we're at 1553. So we're going to wait until something happens, and then I will kind of bring you back at that point rather than making you sit and wait with me. Alright. There's not much point in doing the GSX with the small plane because, as you can see, catering doesn't show up.
Ground vehicle strike, and we're ready to start loading.
Roger.
Okay. So now I want to let them know we're turning on the APU because we want to do that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is operating really slowly. So it's unfortunate because, yeah, we're going to start having the rest of the crew coming soon. So I just, until it says something, I don't know that it's registered that I'm requesting to turn on the APU. Okay, yeah, it does have that, so it's given me a score, so I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of this, because otherwise...
Roger.
Okay.
Gulfstream 671 Golf Sierra, hold position traffic on final expect departure clearance in approximately 2 minutes.
So I've switched myself to ground. I've gotten my flight director set, ready to go. So we should be, you know, ready for departure once we start boarding again. The hope is to be clear at 16:07. We'll go ahead, we'll get our emergency lights on. We'll get our recognition on, seatbelt. Get our anti-collision on. Okay, I assume they're starting.
Go ahead.
Startup seems good. Nothing to report.
Okay, so we'll
Disconnect ground
disconnect.
power, please.
We'll disconnect the GPU. Not that we were on it.
Roger. Stand by, please.
But now at least we're not discharging.
Roger.
Okay, we'll get our stabilizer, or our trim down into the stable range for takeoff. So we've got that. We'll get our flaps down, just so we're all set. Boarding is expected in about a minute. Okay, we're set. We're good on fuel. We should have plenty of fuel. So I'm not going to play with all of that. Maybe I'll do more of the GSX stuff in my A Pilot's Life series. Because, yeah, right now we're doing a lot of this with the Longitude. This has kind of become the go-to aircraft for this series, because it works with the small airports.
Captain, just a quick update to let you know that we've started loading. We'll contact you again once we're done.
Roger.
Alright, so they should be loading. So, it says our senior flight attendant is greeting passengers. So let's see, we can go welcome aboard, flight number, cruise level, no departure delay, normal, weather good, straight out, no delays, and please take your seats, and thank you. Alright, so the intercom. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, this is struggling, I'll tell you that. It's definitely struggling. So, I may give this up, I'm not sure. Because 9 passengers are now on board, now 10 are on board. So we should be ready to go. So let's see. Fort Worth Ground, Walker 4021, requesting start. We're not going to do a push, so we shouldn't need that. Alright, start is approved. So we're going to go ahead and get that going. Turn that on. Fire this up. Close the cover there. And get the run ready here. I keep forgetting to turn on the second engine. I've been really bad with that.
We're not anticipating any delays, so we hope to be underway very shortly. The cabin crew will start securing the cabin once the aircraft has pushed back from the stand. As we make our way to the departure runway, please make sure you're seated and secured as they make their way around the aircraft.
Alright, well, now they're saying no problem on the intercom, like we said something. But, yeah, we got part of the announcement, not all of it. Alright, get the other engine going. Alright, let's see if I can get the ground
Once
crew.
we're airborne, there shouldn't be any issue during our
Oh
climb.
goodness.
It's a pretty straightforward
It's like
departure
it's
out of the
taking
airport,
forever to
so
load the
nothing to worry about
files.
there.
I don't
The wind
understand.
forecast during our cruise looks very favorable, so we expect to arrive on time at our destination.
It's normally
We will,
not
of
this
course, keep you up to
problematic.
date should there be any changes. If you could get yourself seated and secured in the meantime, we'll be able to make a departure as soon as everything is ready.
Okay. Alright, so... yeah, it's the ground crew's not giving me the choice. Because, yeah, we're going to end up leaving late. Because of how this is all working. Oh boy, alright. This just isn't going, so we're gonna exit self-loading.
Hello.
Whoop. Alright, let's see. Ground to cockpit. Alright. Alright, they're storing belongings, heading to the seat, they're trying to get to the intercom. I'm sure they're gonna be like, it's time to go. But we are operating and set. Alright. Just let you know we've started bringing the passengers on board. Ground crew, whoops. Go ahead. Okay, loading has been complete. Alright, we'll contact when we're closed up and ready to get moving. This is the airline announcement is in progress. We're going back to our folks. We've got the load sheet. So yeah, there's no point in playing with this because I'm having to tell you everything. So we will shut down self-loading cargo, and we will just focus on say intentions. Fort Worth ground, Walker 4021, ready for taxi. We should be heading out that way.
Walker 4021, taxi to runway 34 left via Alpha Delta, cross runway 34 right, then cross runway 34 left, then Papa Delta, Papa Bravo Charlie.
Fun. Taxi to runway 34 left via Alpha Delta, cross runway 34 right, then cross runway 34 left, then Papa Delta, Papa Bravo Charlie, Walker 4021. Alright, so let's disconnect and let's get going. So we're not quite enough to get moving. Are we moving finally? I think finally, yeah, now 1 knot. So, not sure where exactly we need to go, because I believe this is our taxiway here. Why it's not, or are we on a runway? No, we're on a taxiway. So I'm going to go to my chart here and hopefully be able to guide myself since I can't see anything. Alright, we're going via Alpha. Oh, well, Delta. Okay, so technically we're farther up than we want to be, so we're going to turn here at Golf. So somehow it thought we were further down, I guess, or it really was sending us an interesting way, but this is 3-4 right. So all we're doing is, unfortunately, we're not quite crossing where we should have. But because the interesting thing is, it doesn't look like there's any taxiway. Papa Delta. Oh, I see. That's why it wanted us to go to Delta. Alright. Because the taxiway's further down. So we're kind of on the runway, which is going to be messing up operations. So we're really sorry, but trying. I think going above 20, I would have gotten. Well, I'm not using self-loading cargo anymore, so I guess it doesn't matter. But we can get
450 Alpha Bravo taxi to holding point Delta 2 via taxiway Kilo and Lima. Taxiing to holding point Delta 2 via Kilo and Lima Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo.
Alright. So we can get off here at Echo. And that will, yeah, this does not look like a taxiway. It's very overgrown. Maybe that's why they wanted us to go to Delta, because they had flooding that ended up causing some issues here. That is just weird. So yeah, this is the cargo side of the airport. So this is the cargo apron and things like that. We should have our taxi lights on too, so we'll get that set. Yeah, this is just a weird texture. Whatever the heck this is. But I'm guessing we'll see the arrows, because this is now Delta, where we should have crossed, and then we'd be going Papa, Delta, Papa, and Charlie, and then Charlie does take us to the runway, so. So not a bad little airport, but there we go. There's our, yeah, so you can see, like, yeah, it was like the rest of it. They're like, yeah, your cargo planes, we're just gonna have really garbagey things for you, because this is much better, a much higher quality taxiway now. I don't know exactly where it theoretically changes to Delta again. I think it's just a botched up thing in how this airport scenery must be done. But this is Charlie. And then we are gonna be ready to go. Alright, do we have a tower? We do have a tower, so they didn't tell us to contact tower, but we're gonna do that. Fort Worth Tower, Walker 4021, ready for takeoff, 34 left.
Walker 4021, Alliance Tower, runway 34 left, winds 325 at 9er, RNAV Cosno, cleared for takeoff.
RNAV Cosno, cleared for takeoff, runway 34 left, Walker 4021. We're doing the Nander departure, so. Alright. So, time to get this show on the road. Not a short flight. Next flight's going to be a little longer again for next week. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to get things set so that things are still operating, even though I may be actually out of commission.
Skylane 422
But
Alpha
here we
Mike,
go.
extend downwind spacing for arriving traffic.
So we'll
Extending
spool
downwind,
up,
Skylane 422 Alpha Mike.
and now we will
132.65.
go. We'll get the auto throttle on. And we should be able to get airborne here. There we go. Gear up, positive rate. Get our flaps up. So let me switch to departure. Fort Worth departure, Walker 4021 with you.
Walker 4021, Lone Star departure, radar contact.
Okay. So we're just turning onto our path. You can see we're already in the soup. So kind of getting into the haze and heading there, but again, we should be at 4,000. And Kuzno is, you know, where we're going. That's the start of
Walker
the location.
4021, Lone Star departure, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220, Walker 4021. Alright, I had it on the fine-tuning aspect, so that wasn't working quite the way we wanted. So, quick break through the clouds. We're already into blue sky here. So, just low-lying cloud cover there over Fort Worth. But we got under 10 miles to get to Kuzno. Now, it'll keep us at 250 or so on the climb. Flight level change is the safer way to do it, because we're not then dealing with anything strange where we start sloughing off speed or anything. I forgot to turn my landing lights on. I've been pretty bad. I would have failed pretty miserably. It looks like the taxi lights automatically go off on this plane when you do some stuff, so that's nice to know. Alright. In theory, I'm supposed to be at 3,000, but air traffic cleared us, so we'll go with that. Because, yeah, Kuzno is, well, it's above 3,000, so. Alright, now speed has changed to 320, so we're going to start to climb. We're close to Kuzno, though, so it's going to start to turn us here. But we're going to accelerate and then climb the rest of the way, I guess. Which seems a little odd. I don't know why I'd want to go that fast and then climb slowly, but it turned off flight level change, yeah. I don't get it.
Walker 4021, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Climb and maintain flight level 310, Walker 4021. So I might need to change.
Expedite Air 2011.
Might need to change some stuff here because it's getting it from the FMS, and clearly it thinks the speed. Oh, I see. So it's capping me for Nander below 13. I see. So we're going to remove the constraint. So there we go. So that was what it was. But again, they've cleared me to get to 310, so I'm not going to sit here and go a lot slower. And now it makes sense because now it's going to go down to 270 to climb again. So that'll allow me some speed wow, we're like a rocket ship. 10,000 as the ascent rate, but that'll back down once we... It actually should be backing down now, because yeah, we're going too slow. But we're at transition
Walker
level.
2021, contact Fort Worth Center on 135.17 stop boats
What? Contact Fort Worth Center on 135.175. Walker 4021. That was a bit of a problem there. Fort Worth Center, Walker 4021, flight level 200, climbing flight level 310.
Walker 4021, Fort Worth Center, good afternoon.
Alright, so bunch of really quick waypoints here. We're hitting the 30 nautical mile distance from probably DFW, not obviously the airport we left. So I'm going to go ahead, and at this point...
21, Fort Worth Center, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Climb and maintain flight level 330, Walker 4021. So now that we have been cleared to our cruise altitude, I'm going to step away, and we'll join back up when we get closer. See you then. We are back.
Walker 4021, descend and maintain 4,000.
We are
Descend
descending.
and maintain 4,000. Walker, Berkshire 4021.
So we are descending later than planned. I stepped away, and we've gotten a lot closer to the airport than I expected in the time I had. So, as you can see, we're about 62 nautical miles away. Good news is this plane can descend pretty quickly. So I think we'll be fine. Although it appears to have to keep slowing down. I don't know why actually it did that, honestly. It went to the path, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to keep going. And maybe it was because it intercepted the path. But anyway. So we're coming up on Tiger. We've got 20 miles for Tiger. Now let me take a peek at my flight plan. Doesn't really say much. I mean, because, yeah, at Kafw, which is at the point we turn, we want to be down. Okay, so now it's getting itself down to 250. Probably, again, because of proximity. But, yeah, I'm not sure how far we have from Alpha November X-ray once we get to Tiger. But, yeah, some of the parts are catching up. So I don't want to go too much slower, because that could be bad. But yeah, the goal obviously is to get into Kansas City appropriately. Private planes, you know, I've been on some, so I've had the blessing of having been on some corporate flights and things like that. And yeah, they're different than airliners. So for a private flight, you're not necessarily adhering to the same type of things. You might go a little quicker than one might expect. But
Mike Charlie, climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Climbing to 10,000 feet.
Let me look
Mike Charlie.
quickly at. We've got VFR, so 29908.
Kansas City Center. Good morning.
Is where we should be once we get down to the transition altitude here, which will be coming up relatively quickly, given our descent rate. But we're down to just 5 degrees as a flight path instead of 8. So that was really more what I was getting at, is, you know, you do have the ability to be a bit more aggressive on these smaller planes, because they're able to handle it a little bit easier. Now, it doesn't necessarily make it any more comfortable as a passenger. You're obviously realizing you're descending quickly, because you can feel it with the tilt and so forth, but... Alright, so now we have that set. That will then, you know, halted it for a moment. Now, yeah, I'm going to turn away from my Navigraph path a little bit, so... Because, yeah, with the Navigraph path, if we were following it in fully, we'd be going to the left, but you can see on our chart we're going to the right. You know, and we have more than the 38 miles, because we're basically coming in from the north end of the airport. I guess I should look at the listing here and see what it says. As far as what are we expecting. It doesn't actually say anything, so it didn't tell us expect this runway or any of that, so.
Walker 4021, contact Kansas City approach on 118.4.
Alright, so we'll be contacting approach soon, but we are now turning, and we've got
to Kansas City.
25 miles.
Approach on 118.4, Walker 4021.
I don't know why she always cuts off the Walker 4021. It just Walker 4021. It just sounds weird. But
Kansas City approach, Walker 4021, afternoon, descending through 5,000 feet down to 4,000.
Walker 4021, Kansas City approach. Good afternoon, downtown. Altimeter 29.907. Expect the visual runway 1 approach into downtown.
Expecting the visual runway 1 approach, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, turn left, heading 290 vectors for the visual runway 1 approach.
Left heading 290 for the visual runway 1 approach, Walker 4021.
Sarah, I'll take comms back, please. Alright, we are in some interesting stuff.
Alright, I'll hand over the comms to you, Thomas.
Thomas? Kansas City approach, Walker 4021. Request change to land on runway 19er.
Walker 4021, unable to accommodate runway 19er at this time. Active runways are 1 and 3.
I don't know why. So we're gonna disregard what they've got here, which is again not what I'd prefer to do, but
maintain 300 knots climb and maintain flight level 380.
because the plan we filed was 19. I don't see anything on the wind. Yeah, it doesn't say even in Navigraph right now.
Echo, Kansas City departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 200.
But yeah, 1's the opposite. 1 and... There's no 1 and 3. There's 1 and 4. So, I'm thinking Say Intentions has got some bad data, is what I'm going to go with here. So, we're going to keep going the way we're going. And we'll figure it out after that, I guess. But right now, we're at 8,000. Because, yeah, 290, we'd obviously be heading a lot further over. The runways are about the same. I mean, runway 1 is... It's the opposite direction of 19. I'm landing on the same runway. I'm just coming in a different way. And it's showing 0 knots. I guess it's a crosswind of 9, but... It's not saying it's closed, so there's a tailwind of 0 knots, I should say. But there certainly should be no problem with landing you know, that way. So we'll see. But we're coming up, as you can see, about 7 miles. It almost looks snowy. That is... No, it's not snowy, but it's very white. So it's an interesting look, that's for sure. And then again, we'll be coming in at this height for a little while. You can see we've got about 800 feet.
Walker 4021, turn left, heading 240.
Okay, we're kind of going to ignore them, because we're going to be turning left, heading like 300. But we'll see. Kansas City approach, heading into runway 19er.
Walker 4021, unable to accommodate runway 19er at this time. Active runways are 1 and 3.
Well, I'm going to need to make runway 19er active at this point, so I apologize for that. I'd be getting a phone number at this point, but, yeah. So, they're going to repeat the same thing, I think, that they're unable to accommodate it. But, let's see, we are 20 miles... Yeah, Kafw-Kmkc, 21 miles. Now it should turn me. Be interesting, because yeah, 19er is kind of south, so we're coming up. The airport's, you know, gonna be over in that direction. Man, looks like we're getting some crazy downpours. I mean, we're kind of hitting places there too, but...
Runway 18, maintain 170 knots until 5 mile final.
Cleared RNAV approach 18170 until 5 American 778.
But we'll see as we get closer how this all starts to play out. But yeah, we are now... I think we've already passed Kansas City as well, maybe not. But yeah, now the airport's basically due west of us. But yeah, we're north of the airport a bit, but I'm starting to get a better view on the map. Now I know I need to be at 3,000, so whoops. So we're gonna make that change here. Get ourselves a little bit lower.
Walker 4021, turn left, heading 195.
Because yeah, Kafw-Kmkc, yeah, we want to enter it at 3,000 and then go down to Zadga at 2,600. So we're going to be just across the river the way we're coming. Oops, a little too far over, but 10 miles. And again, I'm sure we're going to have a pretty sharp turn, although I'm going to just have to... Yeah, so I do not want to hold at Kafw-Kmkc. So let's see if I can remove the hold. And then we'll see. We'll see if it can navigate it, because it's sharper than a 90-degree turn. So what I probably want to do is get myself down to 2600. So let's do that. And that way we'll be kind of at the right point. Why won't it go down? Interesting. But yeah, this is turning really, really early. Right, now it's changing. We're going to set this to manual and get ourselves to, say, 220 now. Because now we are close. But you can kind of see the turn we've got. It's just a question of, are we going to lock in? So I'm not quite sure where we're at. We're at the right location there. I just don't know that I can see the airport. But we got to be close. And I think we're going to come in before Zadga.
Singapore Airlines 326, contact departure on 126.9er. Have a good flight.
We're going to come in right at Zadga.
126.9er, thanks. Singapore Airlines 326.
Right at Zadga, it looks like, the way it's bringing us in. So this is going to make it interesting.
Turn left, heading 160.
Alright, so the localizer's on. So that's good, because that will at least align us where we need to be. Okay, there's the runway. So we have visual. And here comes the glide slope. So, gonna get this, gonna get ourselves down, and we're gonna slow ourselves immensely here to, say, 142. But 5 miles out, we'll get our wheels down. That'll help too for slowing down. Ooh, kind of like right near the bend of the river at the end of the runway there. That is interesting. Okay, full flaps at this point. Ooh, a little crazy viewpoint there as well. Alright, so we're going to get slower and slower. Because the green dot is pretty slow. But we're 500. Very blocky trees the way this has got this all rendered. So, not a great visual around this airport, but again, this is not the main KC airport. So I'm sure there's a little bit of that too. Is this thing going to handle this or not? Alright. There we go. Got my hand over the controls, because yeah, we're definitely struggling here. All right. So, not bad, but not great. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it was a little strong. Oof. So I think we'll be okay. Yeah, 410, so we'll be fine. So, lights are in the wrong place on the taxiway.
Plane 11 Bravo Charlie Squawk 0315, switch to 135.4.
That bridge doesn't look great either.
0315, switching to 135.411,
Very,
Bravo Charlie.
very fun layout. Alright. Alright, so we're just gonna head in here. Alright, so we're all set. Kind of sloppy, but we got there. I guess that's the most important thing, right? So let me get here. We'll get our engines off. Stop. I don't know why it does that. Your auto throttle is off. Right, I don't know, we'll put it there. The engine's off. Yeah, we know no takeoff. Alright, well, I apologize for that craziness. So, I'm hoping it's all clean. Yes, it did give it to me. I was a little worried the way it was acting. But yeah, so our next flight, 664 nautical miles, because we're heading back to the East Coast from the center of the U.S., obviously. And then we've got a really short flight, 53 nautical miles, which I think is the one that we'll be heading into for Labor Day weekend, or Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend. But we are here, just as cloudy on the weather as the other location, so just kind of a big cover here in the Midwest. But we've gotten our VIPs here. That's the most important thing. I have also been making progress on my Formula 1 flights, but those are a lot longer. We'll see if I get that one done. Actually, I have a little bit longer. We have till December 19th on that, where this series we need to be done by November 9th, or the tour will no longer be available. So we'll see how that all goes. Hopefully, let me just take a look at the schedule quickly. Yeah, November 2nd is when the last race at Phoenix is, so that'll work. I was just worried they were like finishing like right at the same time. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, definitely a little harder landing. So I don't know that runway 1 would have changed it much, but it just wasn't coming in well. I may have gone down too slow. I mean, the green dot was down that low, but it seemed to really be struggling to keep the plane aloft at that point. So I may have pushed it a little too close. I probably should have landed 10 or 20 knots faster than I was going, and that probably would have eased things a little bit better.
10 miles, westbound 5,400 for 2,000 is a 757 expect.
So we'll shut that off so it's out of the way. But as always, if you've enjoyed this and are looking to follow along what's happening on the channel as well, please consider liking and subscribing. Those things are very important. And I will see you next time.